Okay, my name's Mr. Willett. I'm going to show you a little bit about the website and about the classroom and how your 8th grade class is going to run. So, I built this website called guidedlessons.com, and it's basically like a flipped classroom type of scenario. Instead of me standing up and giving you instruction and giving you like notes, and you take down the notes and you write them down, what I came to realize is that sometimes I go too fast for some students, sometimes it's too slow for some students, and there was just such a difference between the students that I had that I wanted to find a better way for notes to happen. And so what I did was I started recording my notes and having the students watch the notes on the video so they could pause if they needed to pause if it was going too fast. You could speed up or skip some parts if you kind of knew what you were doing already. And it kind of developed into this whole flipped classroom website. So I'm going to show you the website right now. Now, some of this website is already built, and some of it's still taking place. So you'll notice that this step update page here is a work in progress. This is typically what you'll see when you come in and you try and find a lesson, but this one doesn't have a video because, well, I'm making the video right now, so you wouldn't see it yet. So you're going to go to the home page, and this is pretty much how class runs. You'll come in, you'll have a Chromebook. If you need a part that uses a Chromebook, you'll be on that part. But say you're in algebra class, we go to classes and then down to algebra. And if you scroll down, here are the algebra units for the whole year. And you'll notice that for each of these, it's got its own page. So if in October you are on graphing a function, you can go and click on Unit 2, graphing a function. Say you're on polynomials and factoring in April, we click on this one. Let's see what happens there. So we're brought to this new page, Introduction to Polynomials, adding and subtracting. And so each part has a review, right? This one says just review your notes on exponent properties. Then it's got notes and videos for the notes, right? Intro to polynomials, adding polynomials, subtracting polynomials, and you just watch the videos left to right and take the notes down. After that's textbook practice. It might be a workbook page, it might be like a worksheet. And then oftentimes homework is to take home what you couldn't finish, or finish the practice, or maybe get ahead of the lesson. So let me give you kind of an idea about what those videos are going to look like. Let's say you came into class and you looked at what you did yesterday and you realize that you're right here for your notes. So you'd go to the website, you'd go here, and you'd watch the video for adding polynomials. So the next one we're going to do is adding polynomials. So we're going to flip this one up here. Plus x. And so I can scroll through parts of the video. Maybe you left off at 3 minutes before the bell had to ring. First. So we've got, or maybe you we're just at the tail end of it. Like the decimal points line up, so you know that all the places. And so this is how you're going to take your notes in the class. It's kind of like a lesson playlist about what you're supposed to do to learn how to classify polynomials and add and subtract polynomials. So the really beautiful part about this is you get to set up your own pace to progress through the course. And I'm going to help you do that because it can seem like kind of a daunting task. Last year, 7th grade, and typically in your school career, your teacher has been in charge of getting you from point A to point B, right? That's the beginning of the year to the end of the year. And they've given you a schedule. They said, today we're going to learn about this. The next day we're going to learn about this, right? You come in and you figure out what you're doing, maybe at the beginning of the week, maybe just at the beginning of the day. With my classroom, you are in charge of that. So if you're in algebra, you're in charge of your own pace. So you could do these lessons 8, 9, and 10 one week, and then 11, 12, 13, 14 one week, and say you want to take 15 home on a weekend, and you could progress through Unit 2 faster than all of your other classmates. This is my first year doing it, and I have students that are done with my course, and it's May, because I worked so fast. And they're meeting expectations, exceeding expectations, so it's a really cool thing. And so for this next month, even though they finished algebra, I'm going to move them on to Algebra 2. Now, I don't teach Algebra 2, but I'm going to, because they progressed so fast, so much farther ahead. So this system really allows you to go as slow as you want or as fast as you want. So you might think, why do I need to go slower? Well, if you don't understand a topic fully, then you shouldn't breeze right past it. For example, Unit 1, right, the first one of the year, is solving equations and inequalities. Say you get through solving equations and inequalities, you take the competency assessment, and you fail it. Well, instead of the whole class moving on to Unit 2, and you just have to come in for recess or come in after school and make up the things that you forgot how to do or the problems you got wrong, the class doesn't work like that anymore. So if you don't pass a Unit 1 competency exam, you just stay at Unit 1 and you review until you can pass the exam and move yourself on to Unit 2. So everybody's going to be at different spots. So it's really important for you and I to set a goal for yourself about where you want to be at what time. So every week we're going to have a weekly goal about where you want to be, and I'm this time going to make sure that your weekly goals will allow you to go from Unit 1 to Unit 6 by the end of the year, so that way you complete the course. And so we'll work together on if you have to take some stuff home, if you have to watch some of the videos at home, and just do the practice here. One thing that I do want to make clear, just in case you're freaking out, because this is a whole new, very different system, is that you're not just going to be watching videos all the time or on a Chromebook all the time. The Chromebook is more of a tool to show you where you're at. So say you are on the reflections page, right? The only thing you need to use a Chromebook for is to figure out what the review is. So you can click on the review link here, and it brings you to the review document, which if you were at home you could print out. Some of these Chromebooks print to the 8th grade printer. You could print from there as well. So you would be on the review part. If you were on the notes, now the notes is really the only time that you need to be on a Chromebook, and that's because the notes are right on the Chromebook. This one's 17 minutes long. So really for this lesson you only need to be on a Chromebook for 17 minutes. The other time is going to be basically working, and that might mean working with a partner. It could be working at home. So that could be take different shapes and forms. We'll also be doing projects, so you won't be on a Chromebook at that point. You might be doing a project. Most recently, I know since it's Step Up Day, you just finished the parallel lines and transversal city project for 7th grade. So that kind of project we'll be doing each unit, something fun like that, where you might not need a Chromebook for that portion. So you won't be on the Chromebook every day just watching a video instead of me teaching. As you are progressing throughout the lesson, I'm going to be walking around and helping students individually, pulling small groups, doing relearning if you didn't understand a topic, maybe some enriching opportunities if the topic was too easy. So what this does is it allows me to be two places at once. It allows me to be giving notes to students that are taking notes, and then it allows me to be kind of that second teacher in the room, going around and helping students and doing those small group instructions, which is really beneficial. It's also important to note that while you're watching the video, while you're taking notes, the one big change is that you don't really raise your hand and ask the video a question. Right? The video is not going to respond to you. But I will be in the room. So when you have a question about anything on the video, it needs to be treated just like if I were up on the board writing these notes down. If you have a question, you raise your hand, and I will come around and answer that question. And if it's a really great question that I think the whole class can benefit from, then I can go up to the board and rephrase that question, for example, and give you some credit. Let's say you're watching this video. Over the y-axis. And to show that, we're going to label it up here. Over y. You can fast forward a little bit.
Down
right?
my coordinates for
we keep
P,
going.
Q, R,
maybe you're watching the video. Maybe you're here, and you get here, and you're like,
and the new S.
You know, maybe you get here, and you're like, well, how did Mr. Blake get those numbers? I'm so confused. You want to raise your hand so I can come over and help you. You don't want to get to the end of the video, right, where you might be confused this whole time, and then forget your question, or forget to ask the question, or maybe even the class ended and there's no more time for me to answer your question. So it's really important that when you watch the video, you treat it just as if I was doing it on the board or doing it right in front of you. There's an open dialogue. It's not between you and the computer. It's between you and your teacher. So you have to raise that hand if you have a question. So let's talk about the benefits, just to summarize, of the flipped classroom. One, students work at their own pace. So if you've ever felt like your teacher went too fast, well, not everyone works at the same pace. So you control your own education, and your teacher guides you towards your end of the year goal, which would be completing the course. Number two, students can work from home. So if you need to catch up with work, or maybe you miss a few days from illness or vacation, all of the tools that you need are on the website for you to do it at home. You can print all the materials, watch all the videos. In addition, the parents, right, your mom and dad, they can also watch the videos to help you. So everything's really transparent. Your parent could also even take the course, I suppose, if they wanted to. Lastly, the teacher can do small instruction. So with this model, it's basically like having two teachers in the classroom. You have one that's giving you notes and direct instruction, that's the video, and the other is giving you that one-on-one help or small group instruction. So there are a lot of benefits to this unconventional method for education, but the rewards are really great, and I think you should be really excited about being in this course.